In this video, I'm going to show you guys the brand new Arrma Mojave 4S. I'm going to compare it to its predecessor, the 6S, the big 1/7 scale version. And I'm going to answer the question, is it better than the big 6S 1/7 scale? On top of the morning, on top of the wave, on top of the Alright, as we get started, let me give you a size comparison right away. So here it is. Camera is always, you don't know how big it is from the angle and whatnot. And there is the 6S 1/7 scale. And here is the chassis, so much longer wheelbase. You know, side protection right here. The body clips now have that all important armor right there. Even the 6S didn't have it. By the way, do you guys know what 4S, 6S means? That really refers to the battery. So the one cell is 4.2 volts at full charge. So 4S is 4 times 4.2 volts, so 16.8 volts, so a lot of power. Something very unique with this body is they really protected it. And right here, what they did is they put a skeleton in here. The skeleton does two things. When you take a hit right here, it's going to put it down to the chassis. It just won't press on the Lexan and crack it. So there, you know, you have a roll cage right here basically. The other thing they did is they said, hey, it just gets so dirty in here, so why don't we enclose that whole thing. Handsome body. The Lexan is thinner than on the 7 scale, and they really learned from the Creighton 4S. I think people were cracking that. This one is crazy strong. The arms are really thick now. Look at that complete webbing. The shock posts are, when you see that webbing, that structure, that honeycomb, that means strength, strength, strength. And one thing you'll notice with this vehicle is how big the shocks are. You know, the classic drop on the table, it's really pretty incredible. It goes all the way down. A lot of travel on this guy. Spectrum Electronics, which is really hobbying. They also gussied up the bumper. These bumpers are shock absorbers. So when you take a hit here, this thing will flex and dissipate that energy. And now this is way stronger because I used to break that. The body captures are stronger as well. So everything is stronger than what's on the 6S. And that's a way heavier vehicle. Same thing here. And one thing they added is a wheelie bar. Very stealthy. One of the big key differences in this vehicle is it has a center differential. Center differential is a really good addition to put the power to the ground. So this is more responsive on the 6S. I'm going to compare, by the way, at the end of the running video. And the case is made of metal. You know, that's the frustrating thing with Arrma 6S is everything's plastic, and so when it flexes, it starts giving. And when the differentials break on an Arrma, it's good night. You're in for some misery. All right, so let's go to some running video, and I'll talk you through what's going on here. All right, Francis from RC Review, and today we have two vehicles that I'm running for the first time. One is the Losi Pro Moto, absolutely sold out for the last 6 months, and the other one is the Arrma Mojave 4S. Have a little softball field to get started. Super sandy, and this thing is a dream. A drift machine that can accelerate in the loose stuff. So easy to control. No gyro stabilization needed. I bet you it would outrun a 6S on this loose condition because it doesn't have as much weight. And when it gets on the grass, the transition is like nothing. It's got a lot of travel, so it can handle the hits and it doesn't get unsettled. and then do some jumps. Easy to over jump. Slap the bottom. And then boom. Once in a while, if you take off wrong and you can't really control it, it's very hard to save it because it's a long wheelbase with small tires. But look at this thing. I hardly got to run up to it, accelerated, and the thing was like 2 stories high. And this jump doesn't really have a lip. You just take it with speed and this thing just takes off. So cool to see. And all our attempts are really first time, almost unedited. Did not miss this any, ooh, like there. Not much you can do, it's so crazy. Low C Pro Moto here, we have another video on this. Came out on the same session. We were on a baseball field, so softball field, so a lot of sand. And the classic problem of this vehicle is the body doesn't come off and you can't turn it off because it's completely encased. So normally you take it off like this, it's not gonna come off. So people say you take it off here, that way you're not pressing those posts down. But it's not working either. But I've seen people do this. It's the first time I'm doing this. Just shake the heck out of it. All right, after all that running with the Mojave 4S, it collected a bunch of sand and dust, but not a big deal. We'll flip that over. All right, it took the ramp out. Look at it wheelie. It did this several times. And this thing, it just accelerates when it lands. That's the differential, I think, putting the power to the ground. And then boom, just a bad takeoff, and then can't save it. Water is no problem. Encasing some of the equipment without protection is good. And it's just so easy to control. Never went offline. This thing is impressive and it really puts the power to the ground. The handling is incredible. So, you know, I think they have stabilizer bars front and rear. So when you lean it like that, the other, it just always flat. It's very hard to flip it over. And something unique about the Mojave, it's a longer wheelbase. So it's not a wheelie machine, but it's way more stable. It puts the power to the ground. Now, mind you, when you jump and you're like this, it's hard to correct because you don't have huge tires. You don't have monster truck tires. You don't have a lot of inertia. Strengths and weaknesses. The weaknesses, so many spacers on the shocks. I think they just didn't tune it correctly. You can soften it up, but why would you? I think that's a little too many. The reason for this is so you can put two S batteries, but that's not necessary. So on my first battery pack, of course I tumbled, but you know, and you expect some damage, but man, this whole thing, you see me? This whole thing cracked. And I'm all like, wow. This becomes like a sand trap, and then it goes in between the hole and the post. And so what happens is you're done running and you want to take it off and it won't come off. It won't come off. I mean, and you can't turn it off. So if you have some battery issue or a runaway issue, it's gonna be a problem. So the best advice is 2 things. I'll show you 2 fixes for it. One is you hold it through here. When you hold it through here, it just kind of puts more pressure on those posts. So here, and just shake the bejesus out of it. It'll pop off, and I'll show you a demonstration. So there you go, 2 Mojaves. This is the 6S, and this is the 4S. Which one is better? So this is $630. This is $500. So obviously more budget friendly. And I would say this is version 1.0, and this is not just a shrunk down version. This is version 2.0. So many improvements went into this car to that they learned from this experience right there. So in many ways, this is better. This handles better. You know, this puts power to the ground better. Maybe it'll send it in midair just a little about the same. But this will take the impacts better because hats off. I didn't expect to be so surprised with the, or so pleased with the Arrma 4S Mojave, but I really am. Thanks a ton, everybody. Links in the description, by the way. And these are in stock now. Thank you.